betrayed
Shield
or
Hero.
abandoned and strikes back against fate with him turning OP.
Dude, the second episode I've heard, I mean, second season, everyone was hating on Shield Hero, right? Because it was like just dragged out.
Even more OP than he already was in the process or something of the like, then you've come to the right place. Today, this is what our list is going to be about. I won't keep you waiting, so let's get the ball rolling. Starting off is Unlimited Psychic Squad.
Unlimited Psychic Squad, dude, never heard of that.
Here's a niche title to get things going. Unlimited Psychic Squad's a spin-off of another show, Psychic Squad. However, Unlimited Psychic Squad takes place from the perspective of Kyosuke Hobo, leader of Pandra and the major antagonist in the original series. In a directorial twist that's a preview of what's to come with Hollywood and their long line of movies starring the bad guy as the protagonist, this is the story where we see how Kyosuke's organization Pandra came to be. He's already one of the most powerful espers, but as we all know, the ones at the top are the same.
He honestly looks like a badass, not gonna lie. Second season was too boring.
Guys ripe for betrayal. With him being branded a fugitive, he sets forth to rescue other mistreated espers, gaining their loyalty in his efforts to bite back against the world. Psychic Squad's family-oriented atmosphere gives way to the dark atmosphere as we look at the journey of an anti-hero. Watch his rise from betrayal to becoming the one who'll soon threaten the world. Next up is a new kid on the block. I'm quitting heroing.
Again, never heard of this.
If you're looking for something more modern and standalone, there's I'm Quitting Heroing from just a season ago. This time our hero is Leo Demonheart. After saving the world and ending Demon Queen Echidna's invasion, he finds himself the subject of scorn. The problem? He's just too strong and could end up being a threat to humanity. So it's time to switch sides. Despite the
Bro's like, hey, I'm a bit too strong.
rocky start, Leo manages to find himself amongst Echidna's ranks with the help of her 4 generals. Taking on a new identity, he starts working his magic within the army. However, he does have a major reason to join the army, a concern that's been bugging him for the longest time. Knowing the reasons behind Echidna starting the first war. Because surely, no one wants to be fighting in the first place, right? Kemono jihen comes in next.
I like this because this video doesn't show off too much of the anime.
Appearances can be deceiving, but not in some cases.
One of those cheap adaptations.
One look at Garbane can confirm that. He does give the impression of a neglected and unwanted child, being left working in the fields and the rest of the villagers wanting nothing to do with him. But he could also end up being the greatest asset for occult detective Gohachi Inugami, who arrives at the village to investigate a case of disappearing livestock corpses. It's this investigation that will lead Inugami to the world of the beast-like entities that live.
Don't know why it reminds me a little bit of Demon Slayer. At least this part, you know?
Entities that live amongst humans, the Kemono, and it's this boy who ends up being his greatest asset. Abandoned and resented by the villagers, Gohachi could end up being the most important key to facilitate our detective's investigation.
It looks actually alright, I'm not gonna lie. This started great but nosedived.
World's Finest Assassin was a surprisingly good show in its season. The world's finest assassin has no peer on Earth. Mercilessly killing for an organization, he meets his demise in the only way possible, in the form of a betrayal. Betrayed by his own masters and carrying regrets and resentment with him, he finds himself facing a goddess who gives him a second chance at life. Citing his expertise, the goddess had specifically chosen him to carry his skill onto the next life with a daunting task at hand. The world's in danger due to a renegade hero, and he must use his abilities in life to stop said hero.
That's an interesting, like, fantasy and like military anime.
The world. Reincarnated as the noble son Luke, he begins to learn about the world of swords and magic. With a second chance and a new direction at life, he begins
this took a completely different turn. I thought he was just gonna kill people with like a sniper.
His skills with his newfound comrades, settling for nothing
he's
short
doing
of
magic.
perfection. After all, fighting the hero will require nothing less, and failure to do so will result in his second demise. Whether a hero is betrayed or ostracized, he would require all the help available to rise through the ranks and strike against cruel fate. While it's not anything as dramatic of the sort, ViddyTube would like all the help we can get. So if you've liked what you've seen so far, please like and share the video and hit that subscribe button, because with your help, I'm sure that we're going to be able to take the channel to new heights. We proceed to a perennial favorite, the rising of the shield hero. When it comes to stories where someone rises up from being betrayed or abandoned by the rest of society, the rising of the shield hero is probably the first title to pop up in anyone's
I wonder if they're gonna
mind.
do
You know
the third season after the second one not like really hitting it, you know?
what this one's all about. Four heroes get summoned to Melomark, a country plagued by the waves of monsters that have pretty much destroyed its land for years. Each of them is bestowed with a weapon to help repel these waves. However, Naofumi ends up getting the short end of the stick. Not only does he get a shield, his first adventure with mine ends up in disaster, making him public enemy #1. But a setback like this isn't the end, believe it or not, and Naofumi is left to go through a journey of rebuilding the nation's
There's something about like calming about the art style though. I really like
Along
it.
the way, he purchases the raccoon slave girl Raftania,
Hey.
who could possibly be the key to saving the little good that's left in his betrayed heart. Together, the two fight to protect the kingdom, despite their reputations.
It's kind of like Genshin, you know? The art style, like very calming.
And we can't talk
Genshin
about
Impact.
Shield Hero without proceeding to Arifureta. Arifureta, just like Shield Hero, is an isekai title that features someone being betrayed and coming back strong. However, Arifureta takes the power fantasy and edgy aspects of Shield Hero and then sends it into overdrive. Arifureta stars Hajime, who gets summoned to another world with the rest of his class. Stuck with a supposedly terrible ability and being the subject of scorn and envy, Hajime is ripe for
it's
the
one of
picking,
those,
and
eh?
it doesn't take too long before his classmates send him on a one-way trip to his demise. The joke's on them though, because it's in that abyss that Hajime finds the secret to becoming strong. After rescuing the vampire Yue and gaining unimaginable power, Hajime sets
damn,
forth
man.
to clear the dungeons and unearth the conspiracy behind the world and the secrets of the dungeon creators.
I don't know. So far, none of these anime like make me want to watch it. Yeah, any of these anime are like worth watching or not?
帰る絶対に生きて帰るんだ
We then have another overpowered hero show, something more vintage in Stigma of the Wind. Kazuma can be seen as something of a prodigal son of sorts. Due to his inability to control fire and defeat at the hands of his cousin Ayano, he had to endure exile for 4 years. Returning to the Ganagi household, he discovers that things have changed quite a bit. There's the mass murder thing going on for one. More importantly, the members have been murdered by wind powers, something that Kazuma ironically specializes in. This unsurprisingly leads to Kazuma being the #1 culprit. Now he must deal with Ayano once again, both to clear his name and to get to the bottom of the murders. Now that's easier said than done, however, with his partner being the one relative that he's not exactly on good terms with. How will the OP hero and his fiery cousin coexist? Battles, comedy, and a lot of showcases of power await in this one. Long-time favorite Tower of God makes an appearance here.
Tower of God. I've heard good stuff of this.
Tower of God is the first and arguably the best amongst the 3 webtoons that made their anime debuts in 2020, at least if we're talking about the adaptation. Tower of God tells of Balm. For most of his life, Balm only knew of a life sitting in the depths of a dark cave. However, his encounter with a girl named Rachel changes everything. In the process of becoming friends with her, Balm learns about the outside world and a tower that she leaves him for. With his one friend gone, Balm now has a purpose in his formerly meandering life. He has to go and catch up to Rachel and set his sights on the tower. However, in the tower is a world beyond his wildest imaginations, and he must be at the top of his game to survive the perils that lie within it. Each floor of the tower sends him to a brand new adventure, each with challenges greater than the previous one. But with his sights set on Rachel, nothing will stop Balm and his...
I actually like that concept. I actually really like that concept of climbing the tower and then getting sent to different worlds.
...unshakable will. Finally, we
that actually sounds really good.
out this list with another personal favorite,
Dororo.
A classic that's since become one of my favorite modern remakes, Dororo is the story of Hyakimaru. Hyakimaru was born a child with literally nothing, and this was all thanks to his father's pact with the demons. No limbs, no nose, no eyes. I think you get the picture. It's the biggest human sacrifice there is, and the baby's left to die, abandoned and helpless. Where there's a will, there's a way. And there is indeed a way for Hyakimaru to once again become whole. As fate would have it, he gets saved and given prosthetics to fight the demons. To regain his body parts, he must defeat the demons one by one. If doing so seems like a monumental task,
amazing.
a new twist gets put in his journey
Yeah, thank you for the...
as he meets and befriends the young orphan Dororo. Now the tale of the 2 castaways and their shared adventure of survival and redemption begins. And that's about it for the...
Yeah, the Tower of God and Dororo I'm definitely gonna watch these at some point. At some point, chat. Thank you for watching this video, and also thank you very much to all of my supporters over at Patreon. If you'd like to see these videos earlier, head on to Patreon. And if you want to see more videos, click the videos here and here for more videos from me.